run. Who let the dogs out? Who let the...
Dear America, I'm writing cause the vibe feels wrong. There's an agency out moving like it's running the lawn. Day knocks on the door at folks' tents in the street. Everybody whispering, is this how lost you meet?
We were promised Constitution, promised limits on the mind.
But the rules keep getting twisted when the badges hit the lights.
So I'm sending you this letter cause the truth's been out of touch.
And the people won't stay silent when enough becomes enough. Hands up, heart strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field.
Let's talk about the elephant that's stomping through the hall. How fear becomes a tactic when the system starts to fall. How the force says no entry without a judge's hand, but the knock is getting louder all across this land. How the fifth says stay silent, you don't owe them a word. How the first is keep recording, let your truth be heard. We ain't enemies, America, we're the ones who care, but we can't stay quiet when the people feel scared.
Hands up, heart strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field.
This ain't left, this ain't right, this is human and real. It's the tension in the neighborhoods, the fear that we feel. It's the duty of protection, it's the promise of the law. It's the cracks in the system that we can't ignore at all. It's the right to be safe, it's the right to be heard. It's the right to be treated like your life still is worth. So I'm writing you this letter cause the people deserve a country that remembers who is meant to serve.
Fourth Amendment on the doorway, Fifth Amendment in my breath, First Amendment in my camera. 14 says we all deserve respect. Common law says no harm. Human rights say let us live. Dear America, we're asking for the justice you can give, yeah. Hands up, heart strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field. Hands up, heart strong, we remember we belong. Rights written in the pages, we've held them all along. We're the voice, we're the witness, we're the ones who stand tall. Dear America, we're rising, we're not letting you fall. Awareness is our armor, truth is our shield. We're the people united, and we're staying in the field.
Go. Let me get everybody added to the screen here. Got our Mr. Cheating with us tonight, and the Sheepdog's Mossad handler, Miss Nadine. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Just letting Netanyahu know we went live. So they're gonna make Cheating laugh. I can see when he laughs now. See, that's what I miss is the face-to-face contact, so I can see when somebody Cheating just smiled. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome, Cheating. Thank you for showing your face tonight, Cheating. I wish I could.
Right?
Yeah, it helps you do a
One day.
burnout.
I need a studio.
Yeah, we don't have. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm not like we don't have
we're
a big
not.
studio.
We're not
guys.
set up to do that. But one day we will.
My studio's outside in the gazebo.
Yeah, that would be nice.
It is. I
We
like
have-
your little
we have,
setup right there.
Our
I
setup
think
is
it's nice.
our neighbors was like right there. We don't have
Yeah.
fences or nothing.
And I never know when the neighbor's going to roll out on a four-wheeler
Right, exactly.
or dirt bike or whatever the hell
I'd
it is.
rather have that. Mine is a siren, an ambulance.
You live next to a fire department or something?
No, behind me when I bought the place, it was a dead end street behind me. It's beautiful and nice field, and then they built a 4-lane highway, 2 that way and 2 this way, and then it's okay, but Yeah, that's what happened. So how's everybody doing tonight, man? It's 69 degrees over here. Everybody maybe type in chat. I'd like to see what temperature you guys are dealing with. We're
Where y'all at?
coming up to some spring and 5 days of daylight savings. That's the time, man. Lose an hour and gain 3 hours of daylight. Can't wait.
Right, and they need to keep it that way.
Yep. You mean what we voted for? Yep.
Yep. I mean, where was it? Arizona stopped it. I believe it was Arizona that stopped their daylight savings, changing it.
Well, how does that work out?
I don't know, but I don't know why
If
they
everybody
started
else
doing
is,
that. They said it was because of the crop. That's bullshit. I think they just wanted to mess with our time and throw us off balance.
yeah.
Yep.
Because it does. It does. It messes you up.
We got 42 degrees right there. Can you put those on the screen, Nadine? There we go.
Yeah, I was just trying to get my chat going on the Rumble. I mean, everybody's chat's working on Rumble. Maybe my tablet's not too close to the router. Give me a second there. Hold on.
Oh, I didn't know KVB 68. Rockwell, Texas. Rockwall. Wow, you're in Rockwall?
Oh, right.
I just watched something on the Rockwall. Is that the Rockwall, KV? Texas? With the Rockwall, the big ass Rockwall in the ground?
It's nice to see all the different states. And 79. Wow, you got me beat, Texas. KBB.
Barbara,
Mickey.
Barbara says, "Happy Taco Tuesday."
Happy 33 day.
Nebraska in the house.
It's 27 degrees and snowing with 4 inches. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
That's
Where
in New Hampshire. 27 degrees and 4 inches of snow. Dang.
You must be closer to CERN.
Right.
we're in our 80s down here in Texas.
Yeah, we had to run our AC.
I thought you were in your 40s.
No, it's 30.
Uh-huh.
73 degrees in Arkansas, 36 degrees in Wisconsin.
It's 30 here, and it was sleeting.
We don't want to hear from Florida. We know what temperature is always
It's
there.
about
So
the same as here.
Man, I got this. I haven't got to use it yet. Well, we'll get into our stuff, guys. Just hold on. Okay. That's
he got him.
my little laugh button.
66 degrees in. Oops.
Damn, they still got snow and from the Kathmandu. I like that song.
Yeah. 66 degrees in North
63.
California.
There you go, Cheryl. There you go, Cheryl.
Arizona,
Yeah, I know.
Arizona's 63 degrees right now.
Yeah, y'all got to check out this rock wall, man. I just seen that the other day, and there was a video on that. They have a big wall that somebody dug up in the. I want to say, I forget the time period, but there's a big wall or pieces of a wall. So there's some kind of structure in rock wall. That's why it's called rock wall.
That's where they went and
Yeah.
dug and to see if it was an ancient
There you go.
Structure,
Uh-huh.
which they said it wasn't, but I'm telling you, it looks like it was. I think they were covering up something.
Well, things are heating up in the Antarctic.
Right?
There we go. 41 in Iowa. There we go. There's Deb Cunningham. She's in Iowa. The Cornhuskers. Is that the Cornhuskers?
Iowa.
33 now. Tomorrow is a high of 52.
Yeah, it would be hard to hit you guys' other states when you're in Southern California, man. You can't beat this weather. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right?
So last night we didn't get to see the blood moon. I didn't get to see it this morning. It was caked. The whole sky was just blanketed, right? But some people sent in their pictures, so some people may have gotten to see it. So we have the wartime propaganda in full effect, y'all. We got our neighbors coming over and talking to us about, what they're seeing on Fox and CNN and all that, and it's furthest from the truth, right? and what's really taking place. So
82 in Florence, Arizona.
82 in Florence.
Mhm.
So we had a few. Here, let me
41
add that.
degrees in Nebraska.
So we had some arrests down in the UAE. They were trying to set a bomb off. So that's breaking news. The media is reporting that it's Iran bombing everybody, but that's not the case. That not be the case. So we want to also send our condolences to the 6th family member of the 6 troops.
Yes.
So far, I believe it's 6 troops. Oh, why is that up there? There we go. And we got Saint Yahoo. Let me add that screen here. So big things breaking off down in the UAE. Some things. They call the Mossad agents down there. They like chaos. They cause a bunch of chaos. All right. So we have the misdirection. The locals are calling out the direction of which the missiles have come from. Right. There was in Iran. We have. Let me remove this real quick. So, like it says on the screen, Iran is about to learn why America doesn't have free health care. Right? Because we spend all of our money on wars, right? But this is the result of that most people don't want to look at, right? So a salute to those that gave it all, gave their all, some even their lives, right?
Yes.
So this is the result of the decisions that people make in DC, and they don't care about the death count, right? So then we go back and look at the numbers in Iraq, and it's nearly 1 million, right? Hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops, hundreds of thousands of Iraqis, millions dead, right? So this is the cost. The first always comes in coffins with full honor and colors. The last of them come in bags. No salute, no cameras, just bags. So this isn't from the Iran, but this is that's December 17th, 2025. All right, so I'm still waiting on the footage but that's it.
That often happens, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war.
I don't know if this is technically a war.
We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it.
This isn't a war. We haven't declared war.
The Secretary of Defense, who calls himself the Secretary of War, said today this is a war.
We set the terms of this war from start to finish.
Nobody should classify this as war. It is combat operations.
War is hell and always will be.
Strategic strikes are not war.
And we may have casualties.
So you see
That
how
often
these
happens in war.
senators
I
and
don't know
shit.
if this is
You see how these senators are trying to play this? I don't. This is a kind of a. They want you to think that bombing other countries isn't war.
Right. which it was.
Because
Yes.
because of why? Why do they want you to not believe it's war? Because they didn't have Congress approval. These people
Yeah.
just committed some major crimes right now. They don't. You see what I'm saying here? They got them. This looks like they got them.
Yes.
Hook, line, and sinker. Right? Lindsey Graham wanted to bomb the shit out of Cuba, Venezuela, Iran, and then America.
Yeah. So Congress, because of the action, Congress pushed back after Trump launched military action against Iran without authorization. So Congress is intensifying its response after President Trump ordered military action against Iran without seeking approval from lawmakers. The decision was made unilaterally, without conditions, and outside the constitutional framework that assigns Congress, not the president, the power to declare war. This triggered a renewed confrontation over the limits of executive authority and the role of Congress in authorizing the use of military force. Congressional basis for Congress objections. Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution gives Congress the power to declare war and to fund, regulate, and oversee the armed forces. Lawmakers from both parties have pointed to the clause as evidence that any sustained or offensive military campaign must be authorized by Congress. While presidents can respond to immediate threats, the Constitution does not grant unilateral authority to initiate war. So Congress is responding. War powers resolution are being advanced to restrict further military actions unless Congress explicitly approves it. These measures aim to reassert Congress's constitutional authority and prevent escalation without legislative consent. Emergency briefings are underway as lawmakers demand clarity on the administrative objectives, legal justification, and long-term strategy. Bipartisan concerns has emerged with many legislators emphasizing that the bypassing Congress undermines constitutional checks and balances and risks drawing the country into a broader conflict. So they're working on something on that right now, because that should have never been done.
So that's why you see them sitting here trying to correct the way Hegseth's is saying we're at war, and they're like, no, wait, no, we're not, Yeah, we
Yeah,
are.
that's why they're saying it's not war.
Right, the
Because
Congress,
they're
the
trying to avoid
senators
getting
getting in
trouble for
trouble,
that.
right?
You know what, real quick, what I find funny too is allegedly Obama sent 1 point something billion over to Iran, and then we get another someone in office,
cash.
and you know what I mean? It's like, huh?
Yeah, he sent pallets of cash, right? Did you get cut off cheating?
Oh no, I don't know. Hey, yeah, so one president wants war and sends money, and another president says no more wars and then sends other things, if you know what I mean.
Missiles and rockets and munitions.
Yeah,
Right.
flash
Yeah,
grenades and yeah.
it's like
And then another president leaves billions of military equipment behind
Right.
in Afghanistan, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
and firearms and all that because it's cheaper to keep it there than it
Then
because
it's to bring it back.
well, think about it. If you bring it back, then you can't buy more guns
But
and
that could
weapons,
later
right?
be used against us. That's
They don't give a
stupid.
shit about us. They're talking about money and profits, baby.
Yeah, I know.
They don't give a shit about you.
Happens in war, we may have casualties. That often happens in war.
There, he said war. Okay.
War.
Lady, here comes Lindsey Graham over here. Lady G. Let's see what little.
I don't know if this is technically a war.
Yeah, it's a war. Yeah. Yep.
We didn't start this war.
There we go. There's a guy at the Pentagon. Right? The Pentagon says it's war.
Right.
But these senators are.
Because they're nervous.
They're nervous.
They messed
under
up.
You thought. You thought they were Hegseth and Trump were going to use the same language? I think this is really genius. If y'all can't see what's going on here, these people
Well,
are
that's
being
because of what happened, what the presidents have done before.
right.
They did the same thing without
Congress
Congress
approval.
approval. So this is to
Obama
stop
drone
that.
strikes.
Yeah. And
Maybe
show people that they've been doing this. Go ahead.
maybe they are right. Maybe it isn't a war. Maybe it's in 2026. It's called mass murder.
Right. Right. So
But under President Trump, we are finishing it.
This
Okay.
isn't a war. We haven't declared war.
I know you haven't.
right.
Yeah.
They don't have to. Once you strike somebody, that's starts
Hey,
a war, doesn't it?
Netanyahu's way of getting people into war is bombing them into war. And that's what we see right now in Iran.
You strike somebody, then they're going to retaliate, and that starts a war.
Right. And then especially when you send the missiles and you blame it on Iran.
And they don't have to publicly declare war either.
Well, it's the guys. It's the guys that are dropping the bombs. Like there's general whoever they are in the military. They're all getting it right. They're going to be getting it.
Yeah,
because they shouldn't be taking these orders.
No, exactly. That's exactly right, and they should
That's
know
where
better.
Article 92 under the UCMJ comes in.
Yes, they should have known better.
Yep. They were reminded.
That Congress didn't approve it, and you're just going to take the order from a president?
Just follow orders, huh?
Yeah.
You do that all the time without question?
Right.
Hmm.
So this is a big lesson learned and educational as well.
Let me get this thing on here. Here we go. Yeah, this is going to be different than your Fox News programming, so some of you are probably going to hop off here because it ain't going to sit well with you. You like what you hear on Fox and CNN and shit like that, but here we go. Watch this.
The Secretary of Defense, who calls himself the Secretary of War, said today this is a war.
We set the terms of this war from start to finish.
Nobody should classify this as war.
Oh, it's classified, fucker. It's classified.
This combat operations.
War is hell and always will be.
Oh,
Strategic.
Y'all know who this is, right? Y'all know who this is, Luna?
Luna, yeah.
Lunatic. You like that one? I just made that
Strikes are not war.
And we may have.
Yeah, I don't have anything with strippers becoming senators, but she was an ex-stripper, right?
Yeah, she was another one of those half shirt women. Like what? I don't think they're appropriate any time, but you know, once you're into your 30s, 40s, 50s, you don't wear half shirts.
Wait,
I don't care what your body's like.
Yeah, don't classify this as Netanyahu said. Don't classify it as war.
What is it with strippers and bartenders in Congress?
I don't know. I think they run across these politicians while they're out and about having a good time, and then they promise them a position somewhere.
See, I always knew you were a detective.
Right? I mean, think about it. They're honeypots, right? How does Netanyahu get them honeypots in there? Right? He's got eyes and ears all in that place. Right? So here we have, and here she is, right? Then you had Benny Johnson putting it out, you know, Harris, the left-wing women and the right-wing women in a Make America Great Again bikini. That's a senator he's got in his hand over there. Right?
That dude on the left is cute. Wait, where's my button?
Well, which left are you talking about?
She was an Instagram model, wasn't she?
Well, Pryor was on the right. Now he's on the left.
How about now?
On the right.
How about now? I'm
I don't know.
But here we go. So there you go, right?
It all comes from the same eagle, so it doesn't matter.
So what Luna say? We can't classify this as war. We're just blowing the shit off out of people, right? We're doing a bunch of false flags, shooting missiles all over the place, trying to cause a bunch of chaos. And we see that, like for instance, let me put this on the screen real quick. This is what they're reporting on your news. Hold on, let me pull this up. And I feel like I'm talking to a wall here because I think that most of you understand this part, right? Now listen to this. Here's the 3 troops so far we lost.
Confirmation of the first American casualties since the U.S. and Israel launched attacks on Iran. 3 service members have been killed, at least.
See how they turn it into a show, right? Ratings, war with Iran, CBS News. And then each station has their own little thumbnail, right, to advertise it. It's good for ratings, folks. It brings in ratings, and it's a form, like we talked about this morning in the chat, a form of a blackout. If you're just hearing about the war all day long on your mainstream, then there's something else going on in the background you probably want to focus, pay attention to, or be made aware that if you're just sitting here watching this shit, you're fixing to get waylaid, because this is a form of a blackout via the media.
Right. 5 others wounded.
Right.
Today, President Trump addressed those losses in a new video.
As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation.
And a new wave of deadly strikes today from the U.S. and Israel. But the country of more than 90 million people is not backing down. They're even launching missiles toward neighbors that host U.S. military bases.
That's fake news. That's misinformation, disinformation. That's a script that she is reading, given to her by whoever's trying to perpetrate a war and aggression, right, with Iran.
They're even
and I'm going to show you why. Look at this.
Launching missiles toward neighbors that.
So they're showing Iran. They're saying Iran's launching all these missiles to these different countries, all their neighbors, right, because they have bases on there, right, surrounding Iran, right? But the evidence coming out isn't going to show that. So this is the mainstream media pushing shit that they don't know nothing about because they're not there and they don't have all the evidence, but yet they're reporting it in a certain manner to make Iran look a certain way or whatever, right? To paint the picture.
Host U.S. military bases, all of that, and President Trump says he's still open to talks with Iran's new leadership. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is in Tel Aviv.
All right. But here's the thing, so we got that, and then we go to real quick.
While you're doing real quick, you know, I hate to say this because it's really sad, but show pictures of the hundreds of children over there, a picture of holding a teddy bear, the ones who were unalived. It's horrible.
Right.
Yeah. There's hundreds of kids, man. That's the hardest part, and that's what pisses off these veterans, because they've been over there and they know that this isn't sloppy as shit. This doesn't represent the professionalism of the real men and women out there fighting this fight. However, there are situations like that, and that's way too many to have a whole school go up in flames. That something's not right with that.
Right.
So these people are willing to sacrifice not only your children at war, but they're even ready to sacrifice innocent children in schoolhouses.
And we have become desensitized, which is not good, right? We need to restore that back, whether this is wag the dog or not, right?
Well, we're supposed to learn from this so we can stop making the same mistakes, but we keep going back into the same bullshit, and we're not recognizing the same propaganda being used on us and the same patterns, blaming the same people.
But that, like you said, the vets recognize it.
The vets are recognizing it.
And they're not okay with
We're calling it out. All right. So can you believe it? Iran didn't strike Saudi Arabia's oil giant, Ras Tanara oil refinery. It was Israel who struck the Saudis' oil refinery to blame it on Iran. There are reports that Saudi Arabia and Qatar arrested Mossad agents in the act. These are facts, folks. This isn't misinformation, disinformation. This is out there. All right, and we're going to back it up with tonight. Israel is the biggest terrorist state and a threat to the world. All right, now watch this. See. So we see the oil refinery, right?
Media I just put out.
And then I have the locals right here sending in the clip.
This is Dubai World. Guys, this is Dubai World. It's literally a port, a seaport, which means if you're seeing rockets fly over your head and hitting this port, it did not come from Iran, because Iran is there. We won't see any rockets flying over our head unless we're in a ship. The rockets you see came from the opposite direction, and everyone witnessed it. No more lies, motherfuckers.
More lies, no more lies, right? So that brings us back to this. Now we see what this is. See, where's it at? Right? Wait, right here. Listen to this. This is not the real what really happened.
For our nation.
Today from the U.S. and Israel. But the country of more than 90 million people is not backing down. They're even launching missiles toward neighbors that host U.S. military bases.
Not the case, right? Not the case. Check this out.
Turning now to the Gulf situation, which we just talked about with Dr. Trita Parsi, the entire region in flame and also deeply afraid of what it means if they run out of interceptors. We did want to start, though, with this extraordinary accusation by Tucker Carlson reporting that there were Mossad plots and agents arrested by 2 different Gulf countries trying to foment terror and chaos in these countries. Let's take a listen.
It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries, wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in 2 Gulf countries which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait.
Extraordinary claim there by Tucker Carlson, and obviously highlighting the big
10 5x5 in chat, guys. So when you're watching the mainstream, keep that in mind. That way you can see what they're not telling you. Right. Some people have the balls to put it out there. Tucker seems to be putting it all on the line here. Not saying I trust Tucker or anything like that. So Tucker, he's this, his CI, daddy's CI. I get it. But we see the narrative coming from the mainstream. Right? They're not reporting it.
Backing down. They're even neighbors that.
See, this is all bullshit, right?
Out a press statement claiming that they didn't. So Iranian state media just put out a press statement claiming that they did not attack the oil refinery in Saudi Arabia, that it was Israel. I'm gonna let the video play for you guys. If this is true, it's a big deal. And it is par for the course with Israel. False flags, dragging other countries in to fight their wars because they know they can't fight them themselves. This is how it happens every single time. You and me are gonna send our sons and daughters off to die in some war for Israel because they were blowing everybody up. And yet again, the false flags, the only way. Every single war that these people have ever got any country into, it is always by false flags. It is what they are the best at, and we should expect one to take place on U.S. soil because they need the American people behind them. Without our support, they're right now talking about putting Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, and Candace Owens in concentration camps. This is insane. These people have lost their gosh damn mind. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments.
Yeah, they lost their minds, right? They want to put the people that speaking out. So they're not calling Tucker or Candace liars. They're attacking them personally, which tells you they're telling you the truth. They're not discrediting them in any way. They're not denying what they're saying. They're just saying they need to be shut up. Right.
Israel's like, this is entertainment purposes only. It's like Israel's like, it's United States. Israel's like, hey, let's get Mikey. He'll do it. You know?
Right.
Israel's like the middleman.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's weird that they hide in their bunkers, isn't it? I don't understand the bunker thing. Because the chosen ones are supposed to be protected by God.
You know what? Notice America doesn't have bunkers.
No.
No.
Okay.
Because we got big balls down here.
Okay. Has America never been attacked on its soil
No.
other than when
Israel, false flag Israel?
invaded by
Pearl Harbor,
Europeans coming over here.
9/11,
Other than that, there hasn't.
Oklahoma.
Right.
Those
They
bombs.
have bunkers because there's nowhere else for them to go.
Exactly.
Did you know they're right? I heard that, and I don't know if this to be true, but not everyone gets to go in the bunkers.
Yeah, I'm sure. They probably choose who gets to go with you.
Guess who gets to go in there first? Everyone. And guess who gets to stay outside those bunkers, right? The Goyim.
I wonder how Mr. Zuckerberg's bunker's going on over there in Lahaina, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, it's a party. They're partying like it's 1999 and shit whenever bombs start dropping. But except for they don't like it whenever they get handled right.
That's really messed up because people are just watching Fox News or whatever news, and then some people go on Facebook. Facebook is not putting this kind of stuff out.
No, Facebook is kind of really not where I go to get any information.
No,
I
but
put
you
out
know what I
information there.
mean. You know what I mean.
Yes, ma'am.
And I wonder, you know, those guys carrying the casket too. They're probably thinking, "Oh man, I could be in there," you know. Even if it's staged or not, I'm just saying, you know.
Well, what happened with Facebook, Nadine, is after the scamdemic, they kicked all the truth tellers off Facebook, deleted their accounts. So what was left behind was the people that didn't rock the boat too much because they have family and friends and they don't want to look crazy. So they don't put out,
Yeah, because I just went back like maybe 8 months ago to Facebook because I used to have people jumping all over me. So I'm like, piss off. You know, I just went to Twitter. For some reason, something tapped me and it was like, try Twitter. And that's, you know, that's where I found out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, me too. I like Twitter, a little TikTok and different, you know.
Oh yeah, they made me afraid to go to TikTok.
TikTok, right, because it was owned by China.
Yeah, once I found out, you know, that they were just full of shit because you know, you don't want somebody getting into your phone. Well, I've already had the getting into my phone stuff, but you know, they make it seem like no, don't do that.
Right, exactly. They scare you out of it.
Yeah, but I really like I like TikTok. I'm not sitting there for hours and hours, but
yeah, I like it too. And a lot of people do because you get some information in a short segment, right?
yeah, and they're real people. You know, some of them are it's just trash. I'm just
Yeah, they're just doing it for a paycheck, like
yeah, kind of paycheck.
They're doing away with those accounts. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
They're doing away with paying them so much.
Exactly. Yeah, because they were
putting out garbage.
and they were getting a lot of money.
They were getting a million views, and they were getting paid like
and
handsomely.
no education, no nothing,
no education or nothing.
Retarded stuff.
Right.
And making $9,000 a month on EBT.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know about the dancing in the bunker. What's the deal with the bunkers? Let me pull that up real quick. Here's one picture of one of the bunkers. Here's what it looks like, guys, right here. These are whenever you hear the alarms, I guess, they go in the bunker. I'm gonna have to ask my brother. My little brother, his girlfriend, and their family is from Israel, so they always travel back and forth. I'm gonna have to ask him about these. And they said that only certain people can go down in there, but doesn't look like anybody's standing there at this one. But they go to hide in the bunkers. It's crazy. And when they go hide in the bunkers, their leaders fly out of there and go to Germany and other locations to be safe.
Right.
So if these bunkers are awesome, why ain't Netanyahu in it?
That's for their citizens to feel
safe in, but they're really not. You know they got bunker busters, right?
Yeah.
This is a false illusion. But here we have yours truly. As Netanyahu said, Washington, never second guess me again on Hamas. Maybe it's time we listen. All right, so there's Sean Hannity, right? There he is. I wish I could reveal what I said here, but I cannot. This is Sean Hannity's post, right? We know, Sean. We know what you said. We know what you probably could have said. You probably said, Shabbat Shalom. Daddy's home.
Yeah, exactly.
So there we have it with Sean Hannity. Everybody was told to go watch Sean Hannity last night. I guess BB was on there.
Yeah.
Why does Trump always do that? What is it? It's something about Sean and Sean Hannity. Look, Trump doesn't push people forward like that just for no reason.
Right.
Right.
To
There's a
expose
reason.
you.
That's why it says disclosure
You're
at the
going
top.
to be exposed later.
You're going to be exposed later. So before we did the show, I seen Sean Hannity doing an interview with Stephen Miller's wife on their show on Rumble. They had like what 7,000 people watching that bullshit. Right. So Trump says everybody watch Hannity, and then he also says everybody watch Mark Levin. Right. Those different shows.
Yeah, I think that's why I get so mad. I get mad at Fox News because my grandmother, she loved those guys. She loved them, like Newt Gingrich. She loved all of them.
Oh, Newt.
And that's
yeah.
why I think I take it real personal because,
Exactly.
yeah, because she really loved the Bushes, and that really,
I did too.
Oh,
Yeah,
my grandma did too.
I live right here. I mean, I went to baseball games, and they're in the audience. Like Miss Barbara Bush was
Yeah.
always at the Astros game.
My
we
grandma
always
bought.
we even named our dog George Puppy Boy Bush.
Oh,
Yeah, I bought
George
it.
Poppy Bush
Yeah, the
or
junior
puppy?
and I bought there was a CD store in the mall, and I saw a big life size of George Bush, and I bought that for her, and then we took a picture of her with George Bush and the dog George Bush. So it's like it just really sucks, to have your grandmother. It's different when it's me, but it was my grandmother.
Hey Nadine, did you ever throw a shoe at him? Oh gosh, a knee slapper right there.
That was Junior.
Oh, that was Junior. That's right.
Yeah, but
Okay.
still, it's all good.
I thought,
That was
okay,
a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. You get the, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was a good one. We got to go on a comedy tour at some point, cheating. We got to go like the little one-liner.
Right.
I'm ready.
So the propaganda is not working anymore. It's losing its power, especially on the youth.
Young people are realizing they're being propagandized at a level that older people gladly accepted. It was normal. It was fine. Older people were okay with being propagandized as long as they got a few things out of it. The young people are getting nothing out of it. Wait, you're lying to us and I can't own a house? I can barely have a job? I have to be forced into the gig economy? I get to deliver burritos? And I have to listen to this bullshit? And I have to pretend that this is all real? And I can't afford frozen yogurt with my girlfriend? And I have to go along with this horse shit? And I have nothing and no money for it? If you're doing something, you want to get something out of it. If you are going to delude yourself and believe the bullshit on the news, you have to get a little bit out of it. And what Americans got for many years was a patch of dirt, a little driveway, and a chance. They don't have any of that anymore. We've taken that all away from them. We've pushed them into a gig economy. We've pushed them into the hellscape of rent that goes up every single year. And the propaganda is actually getting worse. It's getting more disconnected from reality, more Orwellian. We're asking them to believe crazier and crazier things and taking away the little bit that most people had. People don't want to be billionaires. People want a house, a family, a little retirement plan, some money in the bank.
Right.
And that's true. Like my daughter, she could not find a job. So she's been Ubering where you deliver the groceries or she does where you pick up the food and deliver it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what they're, and it's wearing her car out.
Wearing her out.
And it's stressful because you don't know how much you're going to get from day to day.
And if you pick, and what I've learned about Uber is if you keep settling for the lower paying ones, they'll keep giving you the lower paying ones.
Yes.
If you're not picky, they'll ride your ass until. Here's another thing. Uber doesn't have a Uber doesn't have like a there's no supervisors, there's no humans. You're
It's
literally
just on
working
app.
for an app.
Yeah, you're
You're literally working for an app. An app is telling you what to do.
and you get paid on that. And then if they don't tip you, then you don't get no tip. You just
Right.
get paid. And they have to drive 20, 30 minutes for a small amount to
Right.
deliver something. It's crazy.
The tips matter, folks.
It does.
Like I know some people can't afford it, but if you can't afford it, don't order out like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they come home with $35 and an empty gas tank.
That's right.
That's it, man.
And it wears on your car, and then they have to pay for that to get fixed.
So
right?
imagine moving forward, not having a company or a boss or anything like that, and we all just download apps to our phones and we find jobs that way in the future.
You just can't. You can't call anybody. There's nobody to call to say,
No.
"Yo, you're doing a bad job." You know, like
Right.
there's nobody to call, and that's so frustrating.
I know.
All right.
Yeah, so it's very impersonable, right? And there's no security in it, right? There's nothing. And that's what the younger kids are facing right now. That's a lot of them are doing that right now because they can't find a job, and that's something they can do. But yeah, they feel lost. Like,
Yeah.
God, what am I going to do? I can't. Am I going to be able to get a house one day? Am I going to, you know what I'm saying? There's no security. There's no
Dude,
future to look forward to.
no. And then
And
now we're
that's
looking
why
at
we
50-year
have to
mortgages.
change some things.
We got to
'cause-
change this for the kids, man, because they don't have you'll own nothing and they're not happy.
Right. I mean, they would go to college and they can't get a job.
Yeah,
It's not like when
it's
it
all
used
bullshit.
to be where you got a really good job if you went to college. Not
I
no
think they
more.
need to be encouraged instead of going and selling our souls to corporate jobs. We need to actually remember. Let's follow our hearts and what our own dreams and wishes are for our lives, and let's whether that be opening your own business or your whatever it may be,
Right.
but going separate from the corporation, building your own little empire, and then having the people support that.
See,
Yeah, and it's really, really sad. What a sense of uncertainty. I feel really bad for them. It's like you got dropped off in a big pit. You know, you can't. You know, if you're aware to the college, you know, your buddies paying all this college debt, and you know, smart enough not to do that, and then you drive Uber and you're not making it, and your car needs repaired or something, or even a damn oil change and then lunch. It's very sad to these guys, man. I wish everybody could do something to really help it all out, man. Hopefully we'll get there one day.
We
Sheep
will.
that's why those humanitarian projects with the fake ass money, the dong and Zim and all that. That's why that was going to be a really big thing for I hopefully it was a lot of us. You know, there were some people. I'm sure they're just going to take the money and not do anything. But the foreign currency, that's kind of where a lot of dreams were. And now
Yeah.
knowing that that's probably not going to pan out, that really sucks because a lot of us did have dreams of helping people.
Well, it's
Right.
not off the plate either.
It's not off the plate. I mean, it could be implemented in some form,
Right.
right? Nothing's not impossible. Put it that way.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's like this real estate guy, that was showing me the big places that I could actually dream about. And, he calls me and I'm not excited. It just really sucks.
Right.
All right. So if you see what you see on the screen here is I've been wanting to I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
So what you're seeing on the screen here is the Nielsen rating for what people are watching. Right? Everybody ain't you wondering what are people watching? Where are they getting all this from, right? And the number one rated show when college basketball Michigan isn't playing Duke is The Five. You see that? The Five, and Jesse Waters. The Five, Winter Olympics, Jesse Waters. The Five. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where everybody's at. That's the Nielsen rating from February 16th to February 22nd. Now the ratings are going to change because now we have the wartime propaganda coming up. So that draws a lot of people to the media. So I'm waiting for those numbers to come out.
And that was also, they knew their ratings were dropping big time. So now the war going on, everyone's running to where they said they weren't going to run to.
But some people don't know. Like, right.
Yeah.
The most trusted source of
Yes.
media news network, right?
When
They go to
when
their most trusted news. They don't trust their neighbors, but they'll sit and listen to bullshit for hours from self-proclaimed experts.
Yeah.
Right.
when the oh geez, I went to say something, I forgot.
Oh, that's okay.
It happens.
It's
Um,
okay.
yeah, I'm just the whole oh when Trump had won, like before that, people stopped going over, like CNN and all of those channels started having a rough time, right? And then everybody started
Right.
going over to Fox. So now they're stuck in their fairy tale land over there.
Exactly.
And then reality, Bill.
On terrorism medal and my national
You won't see this on Fox
defense medal
or CNN.
because they're both lies. War to return my global war on terrorism medal and my national defense medal because they're both lies.
I'm turning in these medals today for the people of Afghanistan, Iraq, Palestine, and all victims of occupation across the world.
I was a nuclear, biological, chemical specialist for a war that didn't have any weapons of mass destruction. So I deserted. I'm one of 40,000 people that left the United States Armed Forces because this is a lie.
Instead of liberating the people, I was liberating their oil fields.
I am deeply sorry for the destruction that we have caused in those countries and around the globe. These were lies.
This medal I'm dedicating to the children of Iraq that no longer have fathers and mothers.
I'm giving back my medals for the children of Iraq and Afghanistan. May they be able to forgive us for what we've done to them.
All right. Better stop the madness.
Right. Yeah. They realized that they had an awakening, and not a good one. Not a good one.
No. So the troops are waking up. Veterans are waking up. Did you know that 40,000 troops left the military because of the war? They don't tell you that, do they?
No.
Those are numbers they don't tell you on the news. I seen it when they first day they went into Iraq. One of the troops like took out the whole tent of their own people. I think I don't know what the hell that was about, but I remember that, and nobody talked about it after that. Like somebody blew up something in a tent. Y'all remember that? It sticks with me because of how they did it. But maybe that's probably what it was. I don't know. But we have close all this out.
Iran spiraling out of control at a pace I didn't even think was fucking possible. Trump has already come out and said this might take 4 to 5 weeks, but then you got other generals out there saying that we don't have enough fucking interceptor missiles to last 4 or 5 weeks. On top of that, it's our other allies in the region, right? The UAE came out and they said they can't last another week. Iran is putting so much pressure on all of our allies around there, right? That let us use those bases. And if we can't protect them, then they have no reason to remain our allies. This is the chess Iran is playing. Iran is playing for all the fucking cards on the deck. They said, this is where it fucking ends. So, you know, how Trump asked for a ceasefire and they were like, no, fuck this, dude. We're finishing this right here. And Trump's like, ground troops aren't out of the fucking question. It's like, no, ground troops are totally out of the question because look at a fucking map. There's no way to get in. Afghanistan and Iraq are so unstable. There is no way to.
If you look at the terrain, the terrain of Iran, it's just it's mountainous, folks.
It's beautiful, actually.
Beautiful country.
But they only show you the desert part on TV.
It's so beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
And the structures, the buildings they have is
oh my God.
Mind.
Oh, we got to go over that.
Oh yeah, we'll do that tomorrow.
We need to do that in the morning. They're built there in Tehran, in Iran, where Trump told everybody to evacuate from. There's a palace there. I think we showed a picture of it.
Is that the one with the crystals all inside?
Yeah, with the crystals all on the walls.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because they say it was built in the 1400s, 1500s, that building.
It is gorgeous. It's got crystals everywhere, on the ceiling, on the floor, on the walls. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Same thing with Bahrain, same thing with Dubai. All these countries, beautiful.
Yeah, we'll go over that in the morning.
All right.
It's awesome.
That's a good point.
The question, because look at a fucking map. There's no way to get in. Afghanistan and Iraq are so unstable, there is no
Well, hell, Congress haven't even declared a war. I mean,
way to put an army there in significant numbers enough to invade Iran. Not to mention, it's ringed with fucking mountains that you can't fucking cross without getting ambushed up a motherfucker. The only other way in is the Straits of Hormuz, and those are the hot gates, the 300. There's no taking that straight. It's not fucking possible. People, for millennia, gigantic armies have ground themselves into dust against completely defensible positions. Some ground cannot be contested, and some battles should never be fought, and this is one of them, and we have no fucking off-ramp now. They went in there. This should be good. It started as Operation Epstein Fury, and now this should be called Operation No Fucking Plan B, because even it's going so fucking poorly. Marco Rubio came out and he said it right out loud. He said, we had to attack Iran because we had intelligence that Israel was going to attack anyway, and then we'd be caught flat.
well, hold on. Intelligence from Israel, because he would have had to have known that Israel was going to attack first in order to know that you see what I'm saying? So he's getting his intelligence from the person that wants the war.
Right.
Duh. Rubio's why did it have man, golly.
They're clearing the land to make a new Dubai.
Well, we gotta put
Right.
He said it right out loud. He said, we had to attack Iran because we had intelligence that Israel was going to attack anyway, and then we'd be caught flat-footed and we wouldn't have fucking struck first.
Yeah, if we don't punch him first in the nose, he might punch us.
They're saying they had to go because Israel was going to go. So anybody saying that Israel ain't fucking calling the fucking shots here, it's already wrapped up. Marco Rubio just fucking admitted to it.
And Trump said the same thing. He said that verbatim what Rubio said. So they're all getting the same talking points from Netanyahu.
This is there's no off-ramp here. There's no off-ramp besides fucking now whatever. Iran, the ball is in Iran's court. They are sneaking shit through. Fox News already admitted that we're having troubles hitting their drones because their drones fly so erratically, they're really hard to hit. That's why you're seeing those impacts into buildings in those 7 other countries, and ballistic missiles are now sneaking through because they overwhelm the interceptor missiles, right?
Yeah. So when the interceptor missile hits a certain missile from Iran, they have a missile. Iran has a missile that once the warhead is hit, it splits into other rockets. Isn't that badass?
Yeah.
So that's an upgrade from a glider.
It's like you think you're taking out the thing, and then it transforms into 10 other rockets coming at you. So you're wasting your interceptor missiles, but these little rockets are getting through. But hey, meanwhile, everyone's in bunkers while Netanyahu's in Germany doing a podcast with Fox with Sean Hannity.
That's crazy.
Wow. Israelis, why are y'all hiding in bunkers and Netanyahu's doing Fox News appearances? Isn't that from another location?
Send in a swarm of fucking cheap ass drones, and then while the fucking interceptor missiles are hitting those, they sneak through these fucking ballistic missiles that also don't cost shit, and they've got fucking tens and hundreds of thousands of these missiles, and we are down into the hundreds of interceptor missiles. That's why the 12-day war with them only lasted 12 days, because the Iron Dome, Israel ran out of interceptor missiles. And our interceptor missiles are so complex and so expensive, and they take over a year to build. So you can be like, oh, go build some more.
That's like shooting one shot, and then it takes you a year to reload your gun. So they put so much technology, is the point he's gonna make, into the missiles, that it takes a longer time to manufacture them, and you don't have time. But yet the ones with the least amount of technology, they just shoot the rockets, the expendable ones, real cheaper, get built much, much quicker, is what he's going to point out here.
Great, dude. It's going to take months and months and months and months, even if you fucking put the gas to it, because that requires infrastructure. You don't just go, but I want some bullets now. The shit doesn't work like that. That's why Russia has switched to fucking quick and cheap to fucking produce military equipment and missiles and attack, because then you just swarm attack. The swarm attack, the greatest military, you can have the highest tech, right? This is shown time and time again. Like when you are defending an area, low tech often beats high tech. Like we won World War II with inferior fucking tanks. The Sherman tank was the biggest piece of shit, but we beat everybody else by throwing so many tanks onto the field that you ran out of bullets and eventually we got you. That's how we won against Germany's fucking Panzer tanks that were Tigers that were just, dude, they would just mop the deck. Like single Panzers were taking out 100 plus Shermans in a single battle, but we'd eventually get them, right? I am just fucking blown away. I am blown away by how fucking poorly this is going. Good luck to us all, because we're gonna need it. Not fucking stoked about it. Long live the Republic.
All right.
Yeah, right there. It's sad that people have to lose their lives. It really is. And then my heart goes out to all the families and people. And I know it sucks, but it is a show because they have dudes, the deep direct energy weapons. I mean, if it was like that, it'd be way more devastation. It'd be like Lahaina, or Pacific Palisades. So it's like they did bombs. I mean, come on, man. There's other stuff they could use. And it doesn't really even cost them that much for the dudes. They're already set up.
You're looking at the Jewish space laser. So that's what they want to do right there. They took our military tech and brought it over to Israel so they can shoot shit out of the sky with the drones. We gave $1.2 billion for Iron Beam laser weapons for Israel. Yay! Where's that clap button? Hold on.
It looks like the iPhone, the camera part.
It looks like what?
The iPhone, the back of it with the camera.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, there it is. Zoomed in. I zoomed in for it right there.
You're right. It is. It's screenshotted and blown up.
This is blowing my mind. No pun intended.
It looks like that on that movie we watched where they kept trying to activate that thing. Remember they were off on the boat. That's what it looks like.
So, Patrick David Betts says Iranians are ecstatic following Operation Epic Fury. They're dancing, they're parading, they're crying in the streets. Okay, well, Americans aren't dancing and parading in the streets. So what is that? What is people in Iran? It's okay, hold on. Americans voted for Trump for no new wars, no regime change. Right? Not Iranians. We didn't vote for Trump to have this take place so they can have a war so Iranians could dance and parade in the street. Right? That's what they want us to believe. Right? But what's really going on with this? I mean, who goes and dances in the street after somebody in another country bombs you? Does that make any sense to anybody? Would y'all go dance in the street after somebody bombed like your neighborhood?
No, they're not courageous people. These people are, it's kind of like the guys in Silicon Valley building these robots, and then the robots are just eventually going to beat the shit out of the guys building them. Like it's not the courageous people that are doing this kind of stuff.
No.
They really have no courage, no God, really.
Exactly.
So here it is. Julian Assange says the goal is an endless war, not a successful war.
Oh, here. Yeah, this one's so funny.
Here's your Iranians dancing in the street.
Funny, too, because like these videos, they're saying that I'm Iranian and this is the best day of my life. The dictator, the killer, Khamenei is dead. Don't they look Jewish to you? Don't they look and move and act like Israelis? Like this.
Yeah, Iranians wouldn't put Trump in the background dancing to YMCA.
Right, and don't they have to wear hijabs?
Right.
They look and dress exactly like Ela and Ethan Klein, do they not? They move like them. They're dancing like the Israelis in Jersey City.
You remember the Israelis that danced after 9/11?
Yes.
That's why they dance after every time they see something blow up. What is that? Does anybody know? Can y'all help me with that?
So a lot of people are saying crypto Jews. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a valid argument that this doesn't Everything about this just is so Israeli. Everything, the song playing, the way that they're dressing, the horrible dancing, the bad drip. It smells like Tel Aviv. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Oh, she's a Jew? That dancing video? Did I call it?
There you go. So what
Yay, if
Iranians are dancing in the street?
you can hear me. Okay. Bro. It's every time. It really is every time. I'm not to be a chud, but it really is every single time, huh? Siko, be careful. These Iranian Jews always lie, claiming ex-Muslims grifting to hate. Yeah.
What's the other word?
Yeah. So many people that pretend to be ex-Muslims are really propagandists. Wow, bro.
Yeah, so don't believe all that bullshit you see on a thing, and especially Patrick David Betts, right? That Iranians are crying and all that shit in the street and parading and just having a blast.
Yeah, this one's so funny.
Right?
It's funny.
Misinformation, disinformation. All right, you ready?
What was that thing called? Where,
It's in our chat. Just scroll up and see what I'll have to.
How come there's always chaos when there's Jews around? Like, you think they'd help? Any one of them would own a flower shop or something?
Right.
No, they own Goyim. They get paid from us. Did you know that? We're the slaves. They're the ones that inherited that money from it, the shekels, right? They own all the businesses that we purchase from. But Iran is about to learn why America doesn't have free health care. Womp, womp, womp. This is why we don't have free health care. This is why everyone's living paycheck to paycheck. This is why America sucks when it comes to taking care of their own, because we got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. I want to get no strike on YouTube with that. Hey, Macarena. So, again, Iran is about to learn why Americans don't have free health care. And it's so sad. And these senators suck. They don't want to call it war, but they're ready to fund it, though, and watch as they profit off of the missiles and stuff that fall on the heads of innocent people that had nothing to do with it. They're bullshit. Ain't that right?
Somebody to blow up a bus full of children or a building full of innocent civilians, you have to grind it into their minds. You have to wash their brains and tell them there's a higher cause out there. It's religious, ethnic, racial, whatever. And for that higher cause, you can disregard all the normal rules of morality.
Gotta interrupt. Arms away.
I mean, Bibi would call me so many times, can you get me this weapon, that weapon, that weapon? Some of them I never heard of, Bibi, and I made them. But we'd get them here, wouldn't we? Huh? And they are the best. They are the best. But you used them well. It also takes people that know how to use them. And you obviously used them very well. But so many that Israel became strong and powerful, which ultimately led to peace. That's what led to peace.
Peace through strength, guys. What leads to peace is once you annihilate the people that originally the people from the land, once you annihilate them, then you get peace. That's peace through strength, right? Doesn't mean peace means war to them. There is no such thing. Real peace they can't obtain. Trump has $7 billion. He can't buy peace. He can't sign a piece of paper proclaiming there's peace. None of these people can get it. The only way you can get that is through the Prince of Peace, right? Through the spirit inside each one of us, right? Once we go within and get and obtain that peace, right? We're not going to get it from the people that worship the war of God. I mean, the God of war.
This is what it was called.
Well,
Christian.
but so many that is.
Yeah, go ahead. Peace through strength is a Reagan term and Bush era, right? Go ahead, my sheepdog.
Oh, when they were dancing like that, it's called Schadenfreude. It's the feeling of pleasure or satisfaction at someone else's misfortune.
What's it called?
Schadenfreude. It's
Spell it.
German. It's SCHADENFREUDE. Right?
Right.
And the blend of Schaden, which means harm, and Freud, it means joy in German. It's enjoying a rival's stumble, laughing at a blunder, or feeling secretly validated when someone else who seems undeserving faces consequences.
So we're into 6G now. I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect it is? So we're into 6G now. I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect it is?
All right, so there's your 6G.
And that's what Sabrina Wallace talks about, right? Biohacking.
This came out December 19, 2025 by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America. I hereby direct Section 1, purpose, the next generation of mobile communication network 6G will be foundations to the national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity of the United States. This technology will play a pivotal role in the development and adoption of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, and implantable technologies. There you go. 6G will also, there's your implants. 6G will also provide faster, more resilient, and more secure communication networks that can be utilized for national security and public safety purposes. So for the DoD, right?
Yeah.
All right. Got that on that?
Okay.
Oh, here we go. So we have a pastor here during a sermon yesterday. Megachurch pastor Greg Laurie said that we know that modern Iran plays a role in the end time scenario, right? I told you they were doing the end times thing. That's why they're doing all this, right? So as far as I can see, the next event is the prophetic calendar will be. So I guess there's a calendar. He's looking at his calendar, and apparently the rapture's coming up on the schedule of the church. Right. So yeah, there's going to be a rapture, especially when the church wakes up and finds out about what's really been taking place all these years. Right. There's definitely going to be a reckoning, right, within the church moving forward. Right. We talked about that in the chat, how some of our Christian brothers and sisters are going to be struggling, especially the ones that don't realize that they have been indoctrinated to be something that they probably normally wouldn't approve of, just
Right.
based on lies, right? Doesn't make them bad people. They just like anybody else during the awakening, you wake up to these things you didn't know. Now, if you did know, that's a different thing. If you choose to still go that route, that's different. But if you didn't know, like I didn't know, and a lot of other people I know didn't know, it's just the veil's lifted. And so I think when the veil gets lifted, that's a form of a rapture, right?
Yeah. Getting caught up to a better understanding.
Yeah, and that's going to be a shot heard across the world right there.
Exactly.
No pun intended, right?
Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
The bomb heard cross, yeah. So here's the skies over New York. Y'all see the line right there, the blanket above? That's kind of like what it looks like out here, but a little bit shittier clouds. This looks like a...
Guys, what is this?
Yo, look at that.
Yo,
What is this?
Why is the clouds like that? What's going on in this air? Nah.
Do you guys
That
see
could be
this?
part of your defense missile system, because when the ballistic missiles come in and hit like real thick dense air, it could cause it to shatter. Right? It's like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah.
That could be part of the technology we're seeing here with the clouds in the sky, how they're able to blanket that. It's kind of like a golden dome in your face.
Yeah, that's what it looks like
Yeah.
in New York, and you can, like, once in a while I can see through it, and there's blue sky above it. Like it really is just like that.
It's a dome over y'all, like a dome for. And I think if they told y'all that, or anybody that, they would be like, "What? Why do we need that over us? What's going on?" And they would freak out, probably fear porn. They would overreact. But yeah, when missiles come in at subsonic speeds, and they hit that, it could keep it from impacting. Right? That's just probably what I think. I don't know. I don't see any. And they're doing that all over. So the phenomenon is a natural weather. This is what X says, is a natural weather front or boundary between air masses where clouds from abruptly on one side due to rising air and clear on the others due to sinking air substance, often appearing as a sharp straight line. Okay. But it's not just New York City. This is going on in North Carolina too. They're blocking out the sun, is what Nika said. Yeah, I agree with that. And everyone's posting their pictures here of the clouds. I mean, it's nationwide. I'm seeing this here too as well. Right. Every now and then we get a good clear blue sky the last few days, but not often. All right, what else we got in the sheepdog? Then we have remove this. Let's put that up there. So you belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of all of lies. John 8:44, which is a 88. John 88, right there, 88.
Hmm.
See that?
Yeah, I see. John 88. Not interesting.
8:44, 4 is 8. There we go.
Yeah, 88.
What we got in the sheet?
Do the shorts first.
The shorts?
Yeah. What's that? About that. Not that one.
Oh, that's it.
Those two.
All right, there we go.
So we're switching subjects to.
We're gonna transition here from what we've been covering tonight. So I believe we've pretty much.
This is an ancient system that right is being looked at as a possibility in the United States system. So this kind of describes it, which sounds, it was a very sophisticated system that dealt with laws, crimes, all that stuff, and it worked perfectly for 1,000 years.
What if I told you
Taken away.
ancient Ireland had laws more progressive than today's? Have you ever heard of a law system older than most countries, one that might have been more fair than today's? Welcome to ancient Ireland, where the Brehon laws ruled for over 1,000 years. These weren't made by kings or governments. They were created by the people, for the people. Back then, justice wasn't about punishment. It was about restoring balance. If someone caused harm, they didn't go to prison. Instead, they had to make things right, often by paying compensation to the victim or their family. And it wasn't about power or status. Even chieftains were held accountable. Women had more rights than in many other ancient societies. They could own land, divorce their husbands, and keep their property. Sounds progressive, right? And get this, nature had rights too. Damaging trees or sacred places had serious consequences. It was a legal system that respected people and the land. The Brehon laws might be ancient, but they were built on fairness, honor, and respect. So the next time you think old means outdated, remember Ireland had justice figured out centuries ago. Follow for more mind-blowing history.
Imagine it's.
Well, the bad history always repeats itself, so maybe we'll get, not maybe, but we'll get the good Good history repeating itself.
Go ahead. Sorry, we were muted. Go ahead.
There's a good side and a bad side. You're correct. So let's stick with the good side of repeating history. The
Right.
things that did work.
Let's not keep touching the stove. Okay? Can we stop touching this? It's hot. The stove is hot. Quit touching it. You don't have to keep touching it to fix it.
Imagine it's the year 800 AD in Ireland. The neighbour comes in with a shillelagh and he beats up your cow, injures your cow, which has been your livelihood. It's been your food, income, and your survival. So he kills the cow. So the Brehon judge then would bring over the neighbour, bring over yourself, and the rule would be that the neighbour has to compensate you fully for the loss of your cow. No insurance company, no fights with shillelaghs, just pure and simple balance, making things right. So there was no prisons as such, and behind bars you wouldn't go, no. The Brehon law was about responsibility, fairness, and keeping the peace. Different kind of justice than when in the 1600s, when English common law came in, when the English took over. So things changed from the old law to the new law. Imagine it's the year 800 AD in Ireland. The neighbour comes in with a
Ireland's Brehon laws were. Ireland's Brehon laws became even more sophisticated when you layer in what historians and legal scholars have uncovered from surviving manuscripts and later translations. The system wasn't just old, it was unusually sophisticated, deeply rooted in clan life, and remarkably consistent over centuries. The origins and preservations of the laws, Brennan laws, developed long before written records, but by the 7th century, legal scholars began recording it into texts such as Sanchez Mar, a foundational complication blending older customs with Christian commentary. These manuscripts were written in Old and Middle Irish and preserved by hereditary legal families like the McEgans. Even after English rule attempted to suppress the system in the 16th and 17th century, some Brehons hid their manuscripts. Their rediscoveries in the 19th century allowed scholars like Eugene O'Curry and John O'Donovan to translate them, revealing a detailed legal world that had nearly vanished. So, how the justice worked in practice, restorative justice at its core. Instead of prison, the system relied on compensation, honor price payments, and negotiated settlements. The goal was to restore balance between families rather than punish offenders. This emphasis on restitution made the system unusually progressive compared to other early medieval legal codes. The Brehon's role was not a judge in modern sense. They acted as arbitrators and interpreters, applying precedent and custom, enforcing depending on kin groups, not central authority. The honor price and social status. Every person had an honor price, a value reflecting their social rank. Fines for injury, insult, or breach of contract were calculated based on this value. This created a highly structured but flexible system of accountability. So Brennan Laws reveals a society built around clans, fosterage, sharing landholding, and professional classes such as poets, physicians, and jurists. Marriage and divorce rules that recognized multiple forms of union and allowed women certain property rights. Land and cattle law that governed grazing rights, inheritance, and communal ownership. Professional regulations for poets, craftsmen, and healers, including liability for malpractice. Environmental protections such as fines for damaging trees or harming bees. These details show a legal system deeply intertwined with everyday life. Decline under the English rule. By the time of Elizabeth I, English authorities viewed Brennan law as incomplete with governance, calling it lewd and unreasonable. It was formally banned and English common law replaced it. Yet the survival of the manuscripts means the system remains one of the best preserved early legal traditions in Europe. So it's a window into the Gaelic social structure, an earlier example of restorative justice, a legal tradition that blended custom, community, and Christian influence, a system far more progressive than many of its contemporaries, especially in areas like women's rights and professional accountability. So the crimes for murder, rape, and theft, how they were dealt with, and property damage. Brennan law treated serious wrongdoings very differently from modern criminal law. Instead of prisons or executions, the system focused on restoring balance, compensating victims, and holding the offender's kin group responsible if necessary. These rules reveal how Gaelic Ireland understood justice, honor, and social order. For murder and homicide, under Brennan law, murder was addressed through Eric, a compensation payment made to the victim's family. The goal was to prevent blood feuds and restore peace between kin groups. Eric was calculated based on the victim's honor price. The killer's family or clan was obligated to help pay if the offender could not. If the killer fled or refused to pay, they could be outlawed, losing legal protection. Accidental killing required lower compensation, and premeditated killing required full payment and could lead to exile. This system emphasized responsibility and restitution rather than punishment for its own sake. Rape and sexual assault. Brennan law treated sexual violence as a serious offense, with penalties designed to compensate the victim and restore her social standing. The the offender owed compensation directly to the woman, not just her family. Payments covered honor price, medical care, loss of fertility or injury, loss of marriage prospects, if applicable. If the woman became pregnant, the offender had obligation toward the child. In some cases, the woman could refuse any marriage arrangement, even if her family preferred it. While not equivalent to modern justice, the system recognized bodily autonomy and harm is in ways unusual for early medieval Europe. For theft was handled through restitution, often at a multiple of the stolen item values. So standard penalty double or triple the value of what was stolen. If the thief could not pay, their family was responsible. Repeat offenders faced increasing penalties and could be excluded from legal protections. Theft of cattle, central to Irish economy, carried especially high fines. The emphasis was on restoring the victim's loss, discouraging repeated behavior. Damage to property damage was treated with the same principle. Compensate the injured party fully. Example would include cutting another person's trees, damaging crops or grazing animals on someone else's land, breaking tools or harming livestock, polluting water sources. Penalties were calculated based on the value of the damaged property, the status of the person harmed, whether the act was accidental or intentional. Environmental protections were surprisingly advanced. Even damaging a neighbor's bees or fruit trees carried specific fines. Why these laws worked? Gaelic Ireland had no prisons, no centralized police force. Justice depended on kinship networks, honor price systems, restitution rather than retribution, social pressure to maintain peace between clans. This made compensation-based justice not only practical but essential for preventing cycles of revenge. The monetary system under the Brennan Law was wasn't a coin-based economy like later medieval Europe. It was a compensation-based, status index value system based around cattle, land use, and honor. The laws described a world where wealth was measured in not what you owned and what you owned and what you owed, not in minted currency. Core of the system, cattle was the currency with the primary unit value in early Irish society. Legal fines, bride wealth, fosterage payment, and compensation for injuries were typically expressed in cattle. This reflected a pastoral economy where livestock represented both wealth and social standing. Cows, baseline currency. A standard cow, often a milk cow, was the basic unit of account. High value cattle, heifers, bulls represented larger sums. Livestock payments were often staggered over time, functioning like credit. Land, rent, and produce. Land wasn't bought or sold freely. It was held by kin groups, but its use had monetary value. Rents were paid in produce like grain, butter, and pigs or labor. Clientship contracts required tenants to pay their lords in food, animals.
In the twilight mists of ancient.
Sorry.
Fines could be paid in mixed assets, cattle plus produce or crafted goods. This created a multi-asset economy where value was flexible and negotiated. Honor price, the social value system. One of the most distinctive features of Brennan law is the honor price, a legally defined value assigned to every free person based on rank.
What's it called?
What?
The honor what?
The honor price is log. Well, it was pronounced log ni in niche. So how the honor price was determined, how much compensation you received if you were wronged, how much your oath was worth, how large a fine you paid if you committed an offense. This made the monetary system deeply tied to social hierarchy. Fines and compensations instead of imprisonment, the system relied on monetary restitution, compensation for homicide, fines for insults or injuries, and penalties for property damage. Goods and crafts value. Skilled artisans, smiths, poets, physicians had legally defined fees. A poet's satire could ruin someone's reputation, so their honor price was high. A physician fee was tied to the patient's rank and the complexity of the treatment. This created a service economy with standardized rates. There was no coins. Ireland did not mint its own coins during the early medieval period. Coinage existed through trade, but Brennan law itself did not rely on coin currency. Instead, it used cattle, produce, metalwork, land use rights, social value, honor price. This made the system fluid, decentralized, and relational, fitting a clan-based society. It was sophisticated, stable, and surprisingly flexible for a non-monetary economy. So contracts and inheritance under Brennan law formed a tightly woven system built on kinship, obligation, and social rank. The legal text showed the agreements were enforceable, but always within the framework of the clan responsibility and communal ownership. So how the contracts worked were recognized and enforceable, but they operated differently from the modern written agreements. Oral agreements were valid and often more common than written ones. Brennan acted as an arbitrator if disputes arose, interpreting customary law rather than imposing state authority. Clan responsibility shaped obligations. Individuals could enter contracts, but their kin group often shared liability if they defaulted. This reduced risk but limited purely individual economic activity. Barter dominated. Goods, especially cattle, were exchanged more often than money. Barter was considered more conclusive and less prone to dispute than abstract sale contracts. Land contracts were rare because land was held collectively by the kin group. Individuals had limited ability to sell or alienate it. Agreements usually concerned use rights, not ownership. Specialized contracts existed for fosterage, marriage, clientship, and service. These were governed by detailed rules in text like Chorus Bescana, which outlined obligations, payments, and penalties. So how was it enforced? Brennan did not enforce judgments with force. Instead, the judgment established what compensation was owed. Social pressure, honor price, and kin liability ensured compliance. Failure to pay damage on one's legal standing could lead to loss of protection. So, wealth, how wealth was inherited. The clan-based structure of society where property was communal and individual rights were nested within kinship. So, movable property such as cattle, tools, weapons, and house goods. Use rights to land, not the land itself. Land belonged to the fine or kinship group, and was redistributed among eligible male members. Honor price, which influenced compensation, legal standing, could pass to heirs depending on rank and legitimacy. Wills were uncommon. The clan system already dictated how property passed on, leaving little need for personal wills. Inheritance followed kinship lines, typically favoring sons, but extended kin could inherit if no direct heirs existed. Illegitimate children had rights depending on the circumstances of their birth and acknowledgement by the father. Foster children did not inherit from foster parents, though fosterage created strong social bonds. So, because the land was not privately owned, a man's death triggered a redistribution of land use right among the kin group. This prevented accumulation of land by individuals and kept economic power within the clan. So it worked because the contracts and inheritance were designed to maintain stability within the kin group, prevent fragmentation and monopolization of land, ensure obligations were backed by collective responsibility, and keep wealth circulating rather than concentrating. This created a resilient, decentralized legal economy that functioned without a central state.
So your currency was the cattle and not us. You see how we're chattel now? We're their currency.
Yeah, it was that was
See
the
that?
highest
So they call us their chattel.
commodity was your cattle.
That's
Mhm.
that's us to them.
But
You
then
see?
your skills, your trade, all that was like a barter. It was
There you
more
go.
of a bartering
Like your
system,
blacksmithing and stuff like that, and
which
your
is kind of
masonry.
right. And then if someone messed up, then everyone in that group is responsible for you. So you're going to get your ass chewed out,
So there
right?
weren't no prison systems.
No, and no police.
No private prison systems for profit to fill. Did y'all know that the prison systems of this sheepdog went over that this morning? They can't break the contracts because it costs more to break the contracts, so they just keep filling up the prison system. It's not because of they're violent criminals. It's 80% of them's nonviolent.
And we went over that this
Right.
morning. How many? There's like 1.9
Didn't harm
million.
a soul
Right. So
but themselves.
there was fosterage payments, the social glue of Gaelic Ireland. Fosterage was one of the most important institutes in Brehon society. Children were often raised by another family, creating a lifelong alliance. A child was sent to a foster family around age 7. The foster parents taught skills appropriate to the child's status, crafts, welfare, poetry. Biological family paid fostering fees, usually in cattle, goods, or services. Why fosterage mattered? It strengthened ties between families and clans. It just distributed responsibility for raising the next generation. It created a network of loyalty that could influence politics and legal disputes. Foster children did not inherit from foster parents, but the emotional and political bonds were often stronger than blood ties. So the honor price, the value of person in law, honor price was the backbone of the legal system. It assigned a monetary value to a person's social standing. It determined nearly every legal outcome. So, I mean, this was let's see, foundations of, okay, so it goes on. I'll post all this in the chat. It's very long, but I wanted to get to this part where
I think it's funny when they call the most enlightened ages of the time dark ages.
right. So this, where is it? So the Brigham system worked because it was built on human relationship, accountability, and restoration, and it offers a striking contrast to the modern system, which is often punitive, adversarial, and disconnected from community life. Understanding why it worked and how it could be adapted today gives us a full picture of why people are looking back to older models for the answers. Why the Brennan law system worked for over 1,000 years is the system succeeded because it aligned with how people actually lived and behaved. It wasn't perfect, but it was coherent, predictable, and socially stabilizing. Community responsibility created a real accountability. People were responsible not only to themselves, but their kin. This meant fewer reckless actions because your family shared the consequences.
Oh
Stronger
man.
social pressure to behave honorably, built in support networks for resolving disputes. Justice focused on repairing harm instead of punishment. The system emphasized on compensation to the victim, restoring relationships, and preventing future conflict. Laws were flexible and context driven, interpreted based on customs, circumstances, and equity. So that allowed the judgments to fit the situation, not the rigid formulas. Honor had legal weight. Honor price made reputation and a measurable legal asset. It encouraged truthfulness, respect, social responsibility. People protected their honor because it had economic consequences. Contracts were personal and enforceable. Agreement were tied to reputation, kinship, social standing. So why the modern system today struggles, our current system is built on very different assumptions, many of which no longer fit how society works. Punishment over restoration, prisons, fines to the state, criminal records often fail to repair harm, create long-term damage, increase um, recidivism. Victims rarely receive meaningful restitution. Adversarial courts escalate conflict. Legal battles turn disputes into fights, not solutions. People win or lose, but relationships and communities suffer. Justice is expensive and inaccessible. Lawyers, court fees, and bureaucracy makes justice a privilege, not a right. The system is impersonable. Modern legal law treats people as isolated individuals, ignoring family dynamics, community impact, or social context. This leads to outcomes that feel unfair or disconnected from real life. So, how Brennan laws could be used today, we can't recreate ancient Ireland, but we can adopt the underlying logic. Restorative justice for most nonviolent offenses instead of jail, compensation to the victims, mediated agreements, community service tied to the harm done. This reduces repeated offenses and heals relationships. Community based dispute resolution, local mediators, modern brehons could handle family disputes, neighborhood conflicts, minor civil cases. This would reduce court overload and produce more humane outcomes. Reputation based on accountability, not public shaming, but verified community standing, track records of honesty, mediation history. This encourages responsible behavior without coercion. Shared responsibility models, not clan based, but family mediation, community support circles, restorative agreements. This builds social cohesions, flexible, context aware judgments instead of rigid sentences. Consider circumstances, consider relationships, consider the impact. The mirrors that Brennan emphasizes on fairness over formula. Okay, so let's see. Also, how they handled mental illness. The law didn't have medical model, but it recognized that some people could not manage their own affairs, could not be held fully reliable for certain actions, needed protection from exploitation, needed guardianship. The term often used in the translation is imbecile or lunatic, a person who without reason. But these reflect medieval categories, not modern diagnoses. So there was legal protections for people with mental impairments. Brennan law provided several protections. They could not be held fully liable for offenses. If someone with impaired judgment caused harm, their kin group shared the responsibility. Compensation was adjusted, intent was considered. This prevented unfair judgment. They could not enter contracts without a guardian. Contracts required understanding, consent, and capacity. If someone lacked capacity, a guardian or heir, usually close to a relative, handled legal and economic matters on their behalf. They were protected from exploitation. The law explicitly forbade taking advantage of someone who lacked reason, tricking them into agreements, using their condition to seize property. This was unusually progressive for early medieval Europe. Kinship, responsibility, and care. Because early Irish society was clan based, care for vulnerable people was a family and community duty, not a state function. Responsibility included providing food and shelter, managing property on their behalf, ensuring they were not harmed or exploited, paying compensation if they unintentionally caused harm. This created a safety net rooted in kinship rather than institutions. So the mental illness affect legal outcomes, reduced or removed liability. If someone acted without understanding, fines were reduced, compensation was paid by the kin, no criminal punishment existed. The focus was on restoring balance, not blame. Adjusted price. Honor price was tied to legal standing. If someone lacked the capacity, their honor price could be modified. Their oath carried less weight. Their guardian could speak for them. This wasn't meant to devalue them as a people. It was a way to ensure a fair legal process. Guardianship disputes represented them in court, managed compensation, and ensured their rights were upheld. So this, compared to how the system, our modern system is, they criminalize mental illness, they overusing incarceration, underfunding care, separating people from community support. The Britain law approaches this differently. Harm was repaired, not punished. Responsibility was shared. Vulnerable people were protected. Capacity mattered more than labels. Community support replaced institutionalization. So I think these are really, really great and that could be implemented, right? So America hasn't formally explored adopting Britain law as the legal framework, but there are places where American legal thinkers, judges, and reform movements have drawn inspiration from the same principles that made Britain law work. The closest real-world connections come from restorative justice, community-based mediation, and human rights focused legal advocacy, all areas where Brennan's ideas overlapped with modern reform efforts. A few American organizations explicitly reference Brennan laws in their mission. The Brennan Law Society of New York, for example, draws inspiration from the system emphasis on human rights and principles advocating for justice rooted in dignity and fairness. While this group is focused on advocacy rather than legal reform, it shows Brennan principles still resonate today. Where Americans already Brennan principles, even without naming it, several modern movements echo Brennan's core ideas, like restorative justice programs. These programs are supposed to focus on repairing harm, compensating the victims, mediation agreements, and community involvement. This is almost exactly how Brennan law handled disputes, emphasizing restoration over punishment. Many states use local mediators for family disputes, neighborhood conflicts, and minor civil issues. This resembles the role of Brennan as an arbitrator rather than a punitive judge. Support decision making for people with disabilities. Modern disability law increasingly recognizes capacity based responsibility, guardianship only when necessary, protection from exploitation. These principles align closely with how Brennan law treated people who lack full legal capacity. Tribal courts and indigenous justice systems. Native American legal traditions often emphasize on community responsibility, restorative outcomes, and consequence-based resolutions. These systems parallel Brennan law more than the mainstream U.S. legal system does. So why hasn't America adopted it more fully? Several structural barriers make a full adoption unlikely. The U.S. is built on English common law, the very system that replaced Brennan Law in Ireland. So modern society is too large and anonymous for kin-based responsibility. Corporations, insurance systems, and state authority complicate restitution models. Political polarization makes large-scale legal reform difficult. But the principles, restoration, fairness, community accountability are absolutely compatible with the modern reform. So, what America could adopt from the Brennan Law, if the U.S. wanted to meaningfully integrate Brennan-style justice, the more realistic pathway would be expanding restorative justice to replace prison for most nonviolent crimes. This would reduce incarceration, repair harm, and lower
Recidivism.
yeah, replacing many civil lawsuits with community mediation. This would reduce court blockage and make justice more accessible. Reforming defamation and insult laws. Brennan Law treated reputation as a real asset. Modern systems could adopt proportional restorative remedies instead of expensive litigation. Reintroducing compensation based on impact. Instead of flat fines that hurt the poor more than the wealthy, penalties could scale with means and social impact, strengthening protections for vulnerable people. Brennan Law approach to capacity and guardianship aligns with modern disability rights movements. That's all.
There we go. Nice read. Thank you, Miss Sheepdog.
You're welcome.
It's a lot of reading.
And if you go on to YouTube and type in Brennan Law, you can watch. There's lots of videos on it, but it's spelled Brehon, which it might not work on a large scale, but it could in communities, right? That's something that can be implemented, and I like the way they did that. I thought it's right. It helps the people instead of punishing them.
Instead of filling up the prison system and throwing somebody's life away based on one mistake.
Exactly.
You ruin somebody's life. You make it to where they can't get employed again. Right? You just shit on them.
It'll make people more responsible for themselves too, because the family members aren't going to put up with any bullshit.
That's it.
And people have got to start thinking before they do stuff. It's not, some things people think are funny really aren't fucking funny,
Right. And if your whole community, let's say you're living in your whole community, has to pay for your mess up, you're not going to do it.
Remember when we used to say, you're not going to go out there and put no dirt on my name, our name, our family name.
Yeah,
you're not going to go out there acting like let's say their last name is Smith. How dare you make the Smith family look like that?
Right, exactly. And that's where that came from, because it did.
Right. They got real upset over that shit. You're making us look stupid out here, man. Your grandpa and them would beat your ass.
So I thought it was an awesome.
In the Twilight.
I actually found that when I was looking when I got that book, Brennan's the Voyage of Brennan, right? The monk that came over here to America. And so I looked into that, and then I found the Brennan's Law. I got the book on that, and it's a really good book. And it goes over all the different how they handled everything. It was very sophisticated, and it worked very well. There was hardly no crime because of it.
And they actually had to study it for 20 years.
Yeah, and then you could become a scholar in it, and you would be you would become a mediator.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds good with the foster parents too, families, because some kids you just can't get along with in your own family, so yeah, shipping them off to their neighbors.
And then they would go to other families and learn different skills.
Treat them like a redheaded stepchild.
Exactly. And they would become part of it. They would become part family too, so it built up a real close knit, right? Even though they weren't blood, they were treated just as family.
Well, back in the day, if you messed up down the street, you probably got your ass whooped by the neighbor first, and then they called your mom.
Right.
Right. What do they say? It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, so I mean I go look it up and you'll be amazed on how it worked. It's something that I wish we could do here. Not wish, we should do it. Implement more of that.
The
Another great show.
the common sense law.
Exactly. Exactly. Right? So if it's based on the honor system, just think about that. It builds like trust and like Mike said, where you could just do the handshake. They didn't have written contracts because
Used
it
to
was
be your
your
word,
word
your
and your
word.
honor,
Right.
right? And there in that society and with that system, your honor was everything. Your word was everything because that put you at the status, and that would determine like if you're gonna get make a deal with somebody or not. Like yeah, this is like go watch Popcorn Sutton. That's how he did it with his moonshine, right? He talks about that. It was an honor system.
All right. That's all we got for tonight, guys. I want to thank y'all for joining us. Another great show. Hope you got something from it. If you're new, we welcome you. We thank you. Welcome you to the family.
Yes.
If you've been here for a while, we thank you for putting up with our shit this long. And
And thank you for all the support and the love. We appreciate y'all
Beetroot.
very much.
Hey, one thing before we go. I wanted to share this at the beginning of the show and I forgot. So I bought some beetroot. So I'm pulling it up the name of it right now. I'm gonna do it for a vascular thing, and I know we've heard about it. I'm gonna try it. You take 2 every day, and it's supposed to really help out with blood pressure. So it's the Rosabella beetroot. So you take 2 a day. It's supposed to help you out, and I'll let you guys know how that works out. And I hope
Thank you.
everybody has a nice evening.
Thank you, Cheating.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Cheating.
Nadine.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So that's from the Gen X spiritual ascension counselor with us tonight. We want to salute you,
Yeah,
sir.
man. Hey, I graduated. I went from Gen X to Zen X.
There you
Oh,
go.
Yeah, baby.
I
I'm
like that.
Millennial X. I'm in between. I kind of teeter between the millennials and the X. I'm like, yeah. I don't know if I'm the leader of the millennials or the outcast of the
You're the
X.
bridge. The bridge.
Right. I kind of somewhere in the middle, but
You're the
You're the,
bridge between the millennials and man, all these generations get me confused. I keep forgetting which one's the
that's what I was making a video, and it cut me off when I posted it. I did it on my mom's Facebook, and I was like, "Hey, you millennials, us Gen Xers got your back. I know what you're going through, man, but we're here to help you." I go, if you need any help, back in the day, you used to turn to your nearest conspiracy friend to get some help, but you can turn to us Gen Xers, millennials, because I know you're getting it, man, and I know you got it. We're here for you. Reach out to your nearest Gen X
There you
or,
go.
or baby boomer on this show. The baby boomers are good to go here.
Yeah. And Gen X is the bridge between the millennials and the boomers.
We got your back, baby. Join our show. We'd love to have the younger generation pop up on here, man.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh my God, if I could get 500 millennials up here, you guys would be entertaining us so much because I know you have some great stories too.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that would be great.
Hey, remember I put in the chat about Generation Jones? That's people born, Bud, back off. Born from 1954 to 1965. Like they were always missing out on everything. That's why they made Generation Jones. It's like, fuck, I was like a day late for that. Like they're late for. They
I'm
were
a dollar short.
yeah, so they made it. Yeah, so they made it a Generation Jones, like
That's
Jones.
where hey, I guess that's where the Nadine. I mean, that's where the word your Jonesin probably came from.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
1954 to 1965.
You didn't drink the Kool-Aid, did you?
Oh, me?
Isn't that
No, he's saying just a term.
what?
You didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
We had
Jones, right?
Yeah, like Jones Plantation.
Oh yeah.
Where they drink, not Jones Plantation. What is that? The Jones where they drink the Kool-Aid and poison themselves.
Anyways, it was a joke. Womp womp womp.
Yeah.
Womp womp
It's just
womp.
like one of those what?
All right, guys, y'all have a
There you
great
go.
night. We're gonna
Good
roll
night,
on out of here
everybody.
before we make an ass of ourselves anymore.
Yeah, join us in the morning on the Coffee with Dogs. We're going to show the beautiful Iran in the morning.
Oh yeah,
You're
we're
gonna
gonna
get
go over the
amazed.
buildings in Iran in the morning. We're gonna look at how gorgeous they are in Tehran, where Trump told everybody to evacuate. We're gonna go over that.
Do you guys have your Telegram in the bottom of Rumble and YouTube, like in the
I got
link?
the
No, I'll
QR
post it right
code
now.
is at the top right.
For the Telegram chat.
Yeah, the Telegram chat QR code is at the top left of your screen.
I'll push it in the chat too.
You just take your camera and just, I guess, hold it up to the QR thing, and it'll pull up the link. Just go to that link, and then we'll check you out. Get you in the chat. If that doesn't work, let us know. It's in the description of Rumble and should be on YouTube as well in the description box. Also, we have our wonderful sponsors with the Mushroom Ladies. So sheepdogspets.com works. Also, we have that link rolling across the top. Also, check out the links for the wonderful t-shirts, GLENDIA'S custom t-shirts. The link is in the description on Rumble and YouTube. You can check that out, as well as the donation for Mickey to get her back home. And that's about it. What else we got?
Well, if we make asses out of ourselves, they're gonna hang out longer, man. We're gonna have to do a make an ass out of yourself show.
No.
Right.
No. Why am I always the one that has to say no?
Yeah, I think you're just. I think you're fronting. I think you really want to do it. You're just playing.
You're fighting it, Nadine. You're fighting.
Yeah, I think on the cool she wants to do it.
No means
No,
yes.
I mean yes.
No means yes in women's terms.
Right.
No, don't. No.
No, don't go there.
There you go again.
No, that's when you say, "Oh, maybe that's not the smartest thing for me to say right now."
Well, that means you didn't think it too much.
All right, love and light, y'all. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
We got the people's wisdom. Yeah, we carry that flame. Truth in the streets, not the soothing line.
And this just don't live in a tower of stone. It lives in the hearts of the folks back home. Hey, we got the people's wisdom, people's rhythm, people's system. Yeah, the truth hits hard when the whole crowd listens.
Granddad taught me on the porch, swing slow. Son, real justice is the things you know. A handshake deal, a promise kept tight. Wrong feels wrong and right feels right. Ain't no statute gonna tell me what's fair. I see the truth standing right over there. Common law roots like the oak tree strong. Been holding up folks for 100 years long.
Ooh, we don't need a crown or a robe or a throne. We judge by the heart, not the words carved in stone.
We got the people's wisdom. Yeah, we carry that flame.
Truth in the streets, not the suits with a name. Justice don't live in a tower of stone. It lies in the hearts of the folks back home. Hey, we got the people's wisdom, people's rhythm, people's system. Yeah, the truth hits hard when the whole crowd listens. Mama said, girl, let your voice ring clear. Truth don't whisper when the people draw near. We settle things fair with the look in the eye, not a stack of laws stacked up to the sky.
Got that hip hop snap with a country town sway. Baseline jumping like a horse in the hay. Common sense, justice in the way that we play. If it harms somebody, then it ain't our way. We don't need roads to know what's right.
We don't need courts to see the light.
We got the people's wisdom.
people's wisdom shining bright. We got the people's wisdom. Yeah, we carry that flame. Truth in the streets, not the suits with a name. Justice don't live in a tower of stone. It lives in the hearts of the folks back home. Hey, we got the people's wisdom, people's rhythm, people's system. Yeah, the truth hits hard when the whole crowd listens.